feel about getting to see some more of the Supreme Leader Snoke?
I'm really confused by this character. I think he was like supposed to be this awesome overarching thing, but honestly I was way more afraid of the Emperor than I ever was of Snoke. And Snoke's like, there is no backstory to him. Even, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of backstory to the Emperor other than, I'm the Emperor, I'm in charge. I kind of believed that throughout all that other stuff. And then having this guy be a leader of a weird new subculture fascist movement that apparently can destroy the galaxy it just wasn't terrifying to me. Although, now that I'm saying it, I should have been.
It's true, he wasn't as ominous.
Yeah, I mean, the throne room, though, in the throne room, I think he does look pretty good. You know, I mean, motion capture, there's a lot of issues with that stuff. I didn't like how Tarkin looked in Rogue One at all, but because I guess there's so much scarring and he already kind of looks unreal, and because there are these little touches like his disgusting teeth and the little hairs on his face and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I noticed the most.
Like, it just added so much character, and it's Andy Serkis, who's like the best motion capture guy ever. Yeah, I really like how the character came off in that scene. Because he wasn't as scary or as intimidating, but he was really hateable.
I was reading that he was a little loosely based on Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, because of the robe, yeah.
So that makes me like him like 10 times more.
Oh, I thought it was because of the wrinkles, but alright.
But no, I think they missed an opportunity with that because he's all scarred up and like his face tells a story and the movie does not.
Right, yeah, and I don't know if there's going to be more to explain what he was in the next one or if he's even really dead because, you know, it looks like his face was cleaved in half at some point.
Yeah, he survived that. Who knows how he could survive?
Well, in other Star Wars stories, we have Darth Maul cut in half, brought back. Cybernetics.
Right. But I mean, I feel like he was brought back because it was a character they could explore, and he was cool enough, and people wanted it. I mean, I don't know if I want to see this guy.
There's always been this hint that there's something in the dark side of the Force that could fight death if you want it to.
True.
Well, that's what all the Sith are after is eternal life because there is no Force ghost for them, so they just want to stay alive forever.
I mean, I guess that is kind of their Force ghost. It's just their disgusting zombie bodies. I mean, look at Darth Vader, look at Snoke.
Yeah, Grievous.
Palpatine.
See, maybe we wouldn't like the backstory on how Snoke got to be the way he is, because when they did that in the prequels with Palpatine, the Emperor, you see him that he's just like, he got the lightning deflected onto his face, and that was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
You know, because if he would have just been a mutated creature, the dark side of the Force mutated in that way, it would have been cooler.
Right? Yeah, and on the other end of the spectrum, you know, I will say that there did feel like there was some genuine mystery around Snoke that they just decided not to explore at all. The fact that Rey's parents are nobody, that's dope to me. Just because, like, first and foremost, the whole time everybody was wondering what this mystery was. I was like, if she has some kind of divine lineage, or if she's from somebody who's, you know, part of this story in a bigger way, then why did they leave her as a slave? Like, how is that? You know, it's not the same as leaving Luke Skywalker on a farm with his aunt and uncle. You sold that kid into slavery. Like, how are you going to redeem that character for having done that? And it turns out you can't because they were nobodies.
I was reading a theory too that with the more that Kylo, like why she has her powers is with the dark side growing higher or in level, that there has to be a counterbalance.
Right. Snoke straight up says that in the movie. Yeah, that's because he was like he's talking about Kylo and he says powerful darkness and light to meet it, and then he brings Rey in.
I did enjoy the fight scene with them. And I mean, it didn't feel like the game of chess that most lightsaber duels are supposed to be. You know, like your first misstep is your end. This kind of just felt more like King Arthur or Swashbuckler.
Rian Johnson has a very interesting way of shooting action sequences, and this is another thing that I've seen people split on. You know, people like the idea of the sequence, I think, in general, but some people seem to think that the scene is choppily choreographed, and other people are into, like, the theatricality of it.
Yeah, when I was watching the rehearsal footage of their fight scene, I was kind of more into that than I was when I actually saw the finished product there.
I mean, if anything, I think it shows a real connection to that story of everybody else that you've seen have a lightsaber fight is a Jedi Master, essentially. These are the people who are, you know, if you're going to compare them to samurai or something, these are people who have studied and know how to use that lightsaber to its fullest as an extension of themselves, while these two are just raw power and just point them in a direction, essentially. And that's what they did in that room. They just went and hacked and slashed at everyone, used what they could and what they knew, rather than using that thing like as a surgical thing. They just went in there like as a hammer and just bashed them.
Yeah, and there were definitely differences in styles, because Rey was just hacking stuff up.
Right.
And it felt like Kylo was being a little more tactical and grabbing other guys' weapons and stuff.
Right.
But she was still doing better in that fight ultimately.
Yeah,
she had to
man.
throw him the saber in the end.